I got faith.
I feel very comfortable in this room right now.
It's very nice.
You'd be even more comfortable if I was closer to you.
Stop it. The legs are rubbing against mine.
Well,
That's because my quads are huge.
True.
battle of the legs over here. Ladies and gentlemen, we have Mr. Adrian Brown.
Thank you.
Should I say head coach or co-head coach?
What
Director?
about, director.
Director
Yeah, I like that.
of Grounded Strength,
That's it. Represent.
all the way up from Melbourne. Is this clap?
Oh, we got it going.
Very happy to have you here.
Very happy to be here.
Thank you for taking time out of your very busy schedule. I know you've had a busy week. It's only Wednesday.
Very busy.
When are you here till?
I'm here till Friday.
Sick.
And it's just flat out fucking mentorship and learning all week.
So
That's where I met Jackson.
yeah, let's touch on that a little bit. Sorry, should we do the big announcement?
Let's go. Drop it.
All right, let's do it.
Let's do it. Welcome to the new Odyssey Strength podcast.
Very good, boys.
Very exciting stuff. Jackson and I are going to be partnering together. We are super
About
excited.
time.
Yeah, super excited to help many more people within our reach. It's going to be really good, really impactful, and yeah, some very exciting things to come out of this partnership.
Yeah, hopefully to have more guests on the podcast such as Adrian and just continue to sort of just get to know, grow a community and get to know more people in the industry and make some solid connections and networking.
Yeah, for sure. Like I think one of the main things was I've never met Adrian before today, but I feel like we're brothers already.
That's it. Feels good.
Yeah, because we all lift heavy shit.
And we love the same humor.
Bros, man. It's easy. When you're a bro, I don't know, that community, because you guys are obviously building something new. I think because you guys have just been doing it for so long and you're very good with people and stuff, it's just going to come naturally.
Yeah, we just hate everyone. Nah, I'm joking.
Sick. Let's touch on what you're here in Sydney for.
So I'm up in Sydney with Big Papa Daddy Bass, also known
Sebastian
as
Orb.
Australian strength coach is Sebastian Orb.
Just pull that mic a little bit closer to you.
Close to me.
Yeah.
A bit more central. Okay.
Sorry.
No, it's okay. I'm sorry. So this is the second time I've done this. So the first time I did it with Jackson. That's where we initially meet. We didn't really speak much at all.
Nah,
really.
well, yeah, I was a bit more shy back then, I feel like.
How long ago was that, boys?
Probably, was it a year ago?
Literally a year.
Yeah.
It always happens around like the start of the year, hey?
Yeah.
Oh,
He
you
runs
know-
a few.
You know, I've
Yeah.
done that big three as well.
Good.
So
Yeah, I feel like we've all done it.
Technically, I'm a powerlifter too. I just don't show it.
You should show it.
You don't lift like one.
Well, I
Strength is
squat and bench.
Strength
But,
is everything.
well, you know, hence Odyssey Strength, Grounded Strength. We're getting there. It's all right, slowly.
There we go.
What is it, ground up?
Ground up. Coming
Stay
soon.
tuned.
Threw you
Stay
under the
tuned.
bus with that one.
Yeah, ground zero gym as well. Maybe we'll see.
I'm so excited for all of this.
But you know,
That'll be good. But all right, back to business. So you're here in Sydney for the mentorship. Second time doing it. You met Jackson in the first one. Looking at both of the times that you did the first one and this one, what's the difference?
the difference is, I think, the questions I have and because when you first go there and you first meet Bass, it's like a fucking insane experience because I hold him up at the top as like essentially where I want to be going as a coach. So when I first met him, I was like, oh my God, this is like major.
You just fangirl the whole time.
Bad.
Yeah.
I was
like-
so nervous, bro.
Well, we're going to try and get him on here. I really
Oh,
want to get him.
man.
I'm going to try and get him and Cam on.
Dude.
You gotta come up.
Yeah, come up. Sure.
We'll get what's the name to put an extra chair in.
Yeah.
Extra chair, extra mic.
I mean, the guy is just so accessible. I think, for him, I always say this to everyone. It's like as if you message a Formula One driver to do your L's.
Yeah,
Like in any other fucking sport, it doesn't happen.
That's a great.
You don't
that
have,
is a good one. Yeah.
you don't have access to these amazing people. Like maybe, you could probably argue like if you in competitive gaming and stuff, you've got Twitch where you can actually speak to these people, but in reality, you're not getting access to them.
Face-to-face time
Yeah.
with them as well, and at accessible.
Insane.
accessible
And he
price
does
too,
give
yeah.
you the time to message, and if you tag him in things, he's like, thank you, like it's just like he's very accessible, and he has gives you the time
He's
of day.
humble. He's humble.
Yeah. And I think Adrian said it perfectly. It's like he's the top echelon of where you want to be in terms of Adrian, for those who don't know, coaches a lot of he's mainly around strength training, powerlifting training. Is that correct?
Yep.
So for where you want to go, like that's definitely the direction you want to be heading.
Yeah, I mean the way that he coaches and has now expanded his business is essentially, in my eyes, the model. You know, he's
No, it's just so easy to understand,
It's so
man. Like
fucking
we were
easy.
having that discussion as well. He makes complicated shit sound simple.
yeah, like we were talking today about the differences between an RDL and a stiff-legged deadlift, and he's like, look at it from the side. It's the same fucking thing.
Crazy.
Yeah.
You know whether you can go, oh yeah, one's more emphasis on glutes. If I stick my butt back, you're like, who cares?
Just fucking do it.
Just fucking do it. If your back's
Yeah,
not-
I think as like I'm gonna go off on a little bit of a tangent here, real quick. But
Exercise selection
like,
tangent.
I just think people have gone too far into that rabbit hole. It's like we're biasing this muscle. It's like, bro, they're all still working. Just because you're biasing one or the other doesn't mean the other one isn't still working. Like, I'm sure if you do it RDL with a glute, the glute biased RDL, whatever you want, a stiff leg deadlift, like the hamstring's still working and the glute's still working. Just one's working less, one's working more.
Yeah, I agree. I think it's maybe due. I don't know if you agree with this. It's something that you would throw into a client who's like, no, I really want to be doing more glutes. And
If
you're
they
just like,
understand,
yeah,
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 it's only
yeah.
if they understand the difference and if they can
Well-
apply the actual enough training intensity to get anything out of it.
Yeah, otherwise what's the point?
Otherwise, brother, leg curl.
Yeah.
Get on it.
Yeah. But again, we were having this discussion, about social media. It always comes up about, with fitness. It's like, well, everything in general, right? All the hooks and stuff are like, this is shit. This is the best. You have to be doing that. And it's like, well, there's your hooks with an RDL and a stiff leg deadlift. Don't do fucking stiff leg. If you want to get big glutes, do an RDL. But then it's like, well, which direction do you really want to go? Like, we learn this with the other mentorships we do.
Yeah.
But it's like, he put the question as far as integrity, like, how far would you go? Like, if you gave an example of this, I don't know what the fuck it was, like some fitness model chick selling her business for $480 million. So $500 million.
Well, you know what that is.
Yeah.
And it's like 20-minute workouts, right? Where you do fucking nothing. What would you rather? $480 million?
Yeah.
Or to sell your soul sort of as a coach of knowing what to do with fitness?
480 cash, brother.
480.
Like if I get to spend the rest of my days in the gym doing whatever I want and not ever have to worry about money again, then yeah.
Buy your own gym.
Yeah, and this is just funny as well. I tell a lot of people, it's like, even if that happened to me, I'd probably still PT.
Oh, for sure.
Like, you do it for
because
fun.
because you're enjoying it. It's a value that you like, and
Yeah.
it fulfills you.
Essentially, we could even say that Bass is in a position where he does do that. Like,
Yeah.
look at today. Like, obviously he's, making more than decent money doing what he's doing this week. But it's like, he's still PTing, and it's like he's PTing coaches, so they kind of have like this prerequisite knowledge as well as ability to train. So, he's still getting to actually enjoy his job because he's still coaching people to a degree, just in a different, I guess, setting and perspective.
Yeah, I agree. He coached me into my first powerlifting comp as well. So, he's still doing it online. He's still in the trenches, and I think that's testament to him. You don't just drop off. You're like, oh yeah, well, I'm doing
You don't
it.
become too big that you just give it up.
Yeah, well, it's, because it's like you just lose it otherwise. And I think you lose credibility as well, because if you're not coaching people and you're telling people to do all these things, it's like, well, what are you doing?
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, for sure.
So the application of that knowledge I think is very important,
That's sick.
which is essentially, why I'm up here now. It's like, it was the first time there, I'm like, oh, this is terrifying and whatever else. And then you just realize that, I think the first time I met him, it was awesome because it was in Melbourne. And I was like, fucking, oh my God. He's like, come out of Instagram, right? And then we're having lunch and he's like, just sat next to me and he's just like eating a Porto, just being a fucking bro. I'm like, oh, right. It's just, they're just normal.
You've
They're
put
normal people, yeah.
we put people on pedestals. I think
Yeah.
as well, if other like trainers, coaches, us, we put them on pedestals, but then we go, well, fuck, like just another trainer. They just happen to do really well.
You know what's funny about that as well is because I remember when I did it the first time, or that was technically the second time, and I was like to my clients, like, what are you doing this week? I'm like, oh, I'm with Australian Sugar. Like, who the fuck is that guy? Like, who? No one knows. Like,
Means zitch.
yeah, and like, obviously, like, he's quite well known in the industry, but it's like outside of that, we're in our own box. No one gives a shit.
No.
Like, no one cares.
Yeah.
And it's just really interesting because like we get so excited to, as you said, put these people on a pedestal. But it's like to the outside world, people are like, who the hell is that? And I'm like, oh, you know Thor? And they're like, yeah. I'm like, oh, he coached him. They're like, oh, cool.
He can just lift lots of weight.
Yeah,
And they're like, cool, I want to look like this.
Yeah.
Well, it's because the community of strength athletes is so small. Like, I go to a comp and I see the same people.
Yeah.
It's the same when I race mountain bike. Like any of these niche sports, it's like there's not many people doing it. And I'd almost say that with coaches as well. There's not many, good coaches. Like,
I think all of them are in standout PT.
Yeah, and we had this. I actually had this discussion with Jackson. I said, you know, there might be 10, 15 that you know that you go, yeah, he's a good coach. Do you know how many fucking personal trainers there are? There's thousands. Bro.
I mean, just
thousands.
think about.
when you told me there was 30 people at your fitness
Yeah,
first, I'm
that's
like,
what I was gonna say. Yeah,
what the fuck are they all doing?
think about half the people that are in your gym plus my gym plus your gym. How many of them would
Well, it's
you?
just me and Leon.
Yeah, well, I mean,
Are you the only two?
Yeah. Well, no, there's another woman, but she works elsewhere and she's very sporadic. But
Sick.
yeah, it's just mainly Leon.
it's like a part-time job.
Grounded
right?
strength takeover.
Yeah.
No, yeah, but then on that, it's like, you know, how many if anyone came up to you, like saying, obviously not yourself, who would you recommend in your gym as an actual PT? Like off the top of your head, how many?
3.
Yeah, I could think of maybe 3 or 4.
Yeah, 3.
Like,
And we
that's
had
it.
20. We had 25 pre-COVID.
3 or 4 out of 25 or 30. That's not good ratios.
One of them was a real estate agent as well.
And I guess also to link it back to, you know, what our goals are, and Adrian will ask you the question in a second of where you want to go with everything, but it's just like we want that ratio not to be the problem anymore. Like we want to make sure that people are getting good knowledge out there, and if this is a way that we can do it, then why not? Because as we said, people outside of this box of a fitness industry don't know shit, and they, you know, it pisses me off when personal trainers are like, oh, you keep asking me the same question. But it's like, if you have an ideal client that you're trying to target, then you should be happy to answer those same questions because you're solving the problem that they want solved. Like that's a client.
Yeah, and even if they have to hear it 3, 4, 5, 6, 10 times, they're probably going to hear it on the 10th time.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I go and see Bass. He
Yeah.
says the same shit over
It's
and over
the same
again.
thing.
And every time I'm like, you know, he asks me a question and I'm just like, and then it's the most simplest answer.
Yeah.
But there's so much over the complication, I find. You know?
Yeah, like I had a conversation with the PT today, and he's like, you know, like I can argue why a hack squat is better than a squat, and I'm like, yeah, bro, but if my client wants a squat, I'm gonna give her a squat or he a squat, you know, and that technically is gonna just make them train harder and enjoy it more. You know, it's like I totally agree with what he was saying, but it's also just like,
And training morale is everything.
yeah,
Right.
exactly. If, you know, like
We've all done programs we don't like.
yeah, exactly.
And then you're like, fuck, I don't want to go gym.
Yeah.
But then now we enjoy it. We're like, I can't wait to go gym.
Yeah. Well, I mean, if I full clarity, like I had it with Bass when I finished powerlifting. I was like, I can't just do this. Like it was like barbell stuff, and I'm like, oh, I just need something else. So that's, you know, where I've moved into it with Jason and stuff now with bodybuilding. But yeah, like at the end of it, I was like, oh, I just must be one of those people who I just need like a complete fucking
Change.
reshape.
Mm.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, some people can just keep doing the same thing, and I respect that. I think it's really, really almost difficult to do that, but the results that you get are insane.
Yeah, I think it's also lucky though that we're all in sports that have great transfer to one or the other. It's like if you're doing bodybuilding for a long period of time and you go back to powerlifting, it's like it's still going to have a great transfer over to that sport. Like there's like very close in comparisons of the skills that you need. It's like the more muscle you have, the more strength potential you have, you go back to learning the skill, and then you're probably stronger.
Yeah, for sure. No, that's the same with bench. Like, when was it? Yesterday. I hadn't benched in like proper competition bench for ages, but you know, just leading up to it, it was more, and we just ran out of time. I could have gone heavier.
Sick.
Yeah, man.
3 biscuits aside.
3 biscuits.
3 biscuits.
He wants it.
And
He's
that was
hungry.
it. Then I'm a real man.
Come get it.
A real man. You know, we
Yeah.
just base our whole lives on 3 biscuits.
You guys
on
can
bench.
come talk to me when you're real men.
Oh, get the fuck out of here, man.
I don't even know what a bench is. Actually, make you laugh. Godly Strong
Yeah.
spotted me for my bench when I
You
was
just curl it afterwards.
brother. He just picked it up one hand.
It's a monster.
I was like, this is sick, and he get me off.
Yeah.
And I thought I almost broke my shoulder blades when he was telling me to pinch. I was like, there's no more room. He's like, there's more. And he dug his hands under, and I was like, oh my God, stop.
Thoracic extension.
He's like, legs back. I swear the next day I couldn't get out of bed.
Oh, really?
I was fucked.
Yeah. When you learn to do that stuff properly, you really feel all these muscles that you don't like ever use, and you're like,
Cable rows, seated cable rows, put it to the side, bro. I'll just do competition bench.
Yeah.
It was unreal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On that. Oh, sorry. You go.
No, go,
No,
Jason.
you go.
Yeah, it's just, you know, when like Bass was showing Liana, unfortunately she couldn't come today, but, you know, she was getting him to retrain with her arch and stuff. And she's like, I can't. And he's just like, no, you just got to put it right there. And he goes, it's not meant to be comfortable.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just meant to be shit for this one sort of set.
Yeah.
And then you're like,
For what, 30 seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's just, you know, shows again, like, you know, the argument of like, oh, is it optimal? Well, it's optimal for powerlifting.
Move the fucking weight.
Depending on the context of it as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, like on that note of what I was going to say was, you know, you're doing all this mentoring. You obviously like to go back to Bass, and you know, I guess not many people. I mean, you know, for the people listening, like, tell us about you. Tell us about what your business is about. We've mentioned it's Grounded Strength. What do you plan to do with all this knowledge? Where do you see yourself sort of in the next 12 to 18 months? That's quite a loaded question, but I guess pick it apart as you wish.
So Grounded Strength is mainly going to be based around, you know, getting people strong. You know, there's obviously, I've got hypertrophy interests as well, but I think overall it's just going to be, you know, a business of getting people really strong. Now, whether that's competition in powerlifting or just want to be the biggest and baddest motherfucker in the gym, sure. The direction I'm going, it seems to be going more in line with moving online. But I think, like with, you know, how we're talking about with Bass, still doing mentorships and stuff, I think it's important to still keep that bit of like people sort of skills and stuff like that. And also it's good, really good for queuing and everything else. So I will probably still continue to do some face-to-face for a few hours, you know, a week and things like that. But yeah, the direction is, for me, it's just I've never been in this position where I've enjoyed something so much.
What were you doing before PT?
So before PT, I was just working events as a forklift driver.
Wow.
So I've obviously always been training.
Did you do donuts on the forklift?
Donuts, of course.
Sick.
I've got this sick video. I might be off my phone. I did, like, when I left the company, I made the forklift dance and I'm dancing next to it.
Could you flip a coin with the fork?
Nah, but I was pretty accurate. Like, no, just like, you know, turn that shit straight in. But, you know, through COVID, I was stuck in that position and it was, you know, horrifying. And then the previous coach who was at Anytime, he said, "Oh, why don't you should come and try PT?" And I was like, you know, you just always hear bad shit about PTs, right? Oh, you're never going to make it. You'll lose all your business in 3 months.
I swear that the one thing was like, oh, you're going to do PT. What else are you going to do for a job?
Yeah.
And you're like, sorry? Yeah. Like, what do you mean? I just studied. Like, I'm going to do PT. And they're like, nah, I don't think so.
Yeah. So, and, you know, I think a lot of that comes from, you know, previous pressure and stuff like that, from everything else. But I've made it work. I've poured everything into this. All money I make is pushed into, you know, mentorships like Bass and STC and learning how to do things better. I think, you know, if you're going to do anything that you really, really enjoy, I think the more money you can pour into it, and, you know, pouring money into things like, yeah, context is important, but when you pour something in that you really love, you're going to get a lot more out of it, I think.
Yeah, for sure. The return on investment is massive.
Yeah, which is, you know, really showing of, you know, the people I work with now is getting more and more sort of, you know, exclusive, and the results I'm getting in the gym, like everyone in the gym currently, you know, who's strongest and lifting really well is with Grounded Strength. Like, they're not
recognizable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You know, and that's awesome to hear. And, you know, just getting referrals out of thin air is incredible as well. Like, people saying all these wonderful things in testimonials, which I don't even ask for, which is, you know, it makes you feel fucking amazing. Really
fulfilling. Hey?
Yeah. It's almost like, as cliche as it might sound, all that money that you're pouring back into the business, it's returned just based purely off the enjoyment. Like, you get that return on investment just by enjoying it. And it's like, if that's going to, someone actually said it to me quite well the other day. It's like, don't chase money, chase passion, and the money will come.
Yeah, I completely agree. I mean, in the past, I've chased things that would just think, oh, it's going to make me heaps of money, like trade and all that sort of stuff. Like a plumber. I used to be an arborist for 3 years. That was my first apprentice.
Rough.
But, you know, for me, there was no passion for it. So I was like, it was just a means to an end, and, you know, I just bounced around. This is the longest I've ever been in a job.
Me too. Same.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm like you, man. I had so many jobs. I was bartending, I was plumbing as well, I was carpentry, I was fucking worked the Sky Zone.
That's
like,
sick, bro.
I did everything, man. And
do you know what Sky Zone is?
Is that big tower thing?
Trampoline.
Is it like a trampoline
park?
Oh, that's like
it's closed down, like bounce.
Right.
Yeah.
Sick.
Cool.
Yeah, it was.
Mad
it was.
job.
Oh,
I wanted a job there.
Yeah,
they didn't give me one. They were like, no, too young.
It was not that fun. Trust me.
Oh.
I mean, they're closed down now, I'm pretty sure. But yeah, like you, man. It took me to move to another country to realize I wanted to do PT. So, like, I totally understand. It's like, I stress every day about this job in a good way, in terms of like wanting to do well and wanting to be successful. But it's like, I can't imagine, like, I would rather wake up and be stressed about this job and then going back to plumbing or some shit.
Before you say something, well, one of the guys in my gym, bless him, Simon, been doing PT for like, 15 years. And I'm like, oh, you know, and there was one stage where I was like, oh, like I'm just not enjoying it. He goes, would you rather do this or sit in an office with the aircon on 9 to 5 listening to someone bitch about their weekend? I was like, see you on the gym floor.
Yeah. I think it takes a lot of just hard work to get to obviously where we are. And, you know, we're not stopping. That's the biggest thing. You know, I say that to myself all the day. It's like, you know, I think it was that Hormozy quote.
Alex
like,
Hormozy,
yeah.
you
only what is it? You only stop if you quit or something like that. Or so, you only lose if you quit. That's it.
Oh, yeah.
So it's like whenever there's like a down part or whatever, it's like, okay, well, you just don't quit and you just keep pushing forward, which is, you know, I've never had that with it. Everything else has been, oh yeah, I'll just quit and I'll try something new. Whereas now this, it's like, oh, this is something different about it. Like the fulfillment I get, it's so fucking cringy, but the fulfillment I get from seeing complete beginner of, you know, complete newbie gains to now deadlifting comfortably and really strong and enjoying the gym. I mean, that's awesome. You've impacted them in a way that they'll be able to train and feel good about themselves for the rest of their lives.
And it does. This is going to sound cringy, but they are eternally grateful. They look at it and they're like,
Yeah.
fuck, I haven't been able, I never thought I was going to be able to do this ever. And you're like, I'm so happy that you said that. Like it's such a nice feeling.
It shows a lot though. Like, you know, like I watch your Instagram a lot and it's like, it shows because you are undoubtedly yourself through social media and it's really cool to see. Like, you know, whoever doesn't follow Adrian, Coach Adrian Brown.
Terrible content, don't bother.
No, his content is honestly great because you're yourself. Like you've got a ongoing joke of where you're putting the mic in every video. Like it's on a shoe or on a banana or, you know, it's just like you get to be yourself and you're going to attract more people that are like that as well, which is like awesome to see.
Which is us.
Yeah. Well, it's you know, that's another stressor. Like if you're not being yourself, you're going to burn out real quick from this job, real fucking quick. You know, because that whole thing of like, you know, waking up every morning and putting this mask on of pretending to be this, you know, whatever the fuck you want to be at PT, super stressful because there's a show cracks in it as well. You know, when things get tough, you'll just revert back to your most comfortable state, which potentially could be whatever.
Yeah.
You know, and you see it with a lot of people, you know. They just revert back to where they were and they run away and back to what previous job they had or whatever else.
What's comfortable.
Yeah. I mean, it's the same with the training, right? You know, when you see someone going from max out, they'll go for the most comfortable sort of position that they feel strong in. It's really interesting.
Yeah, wow. I know you were saying in the gym the other day, I asked your fiance?
Yep.
Who trains you? And she said you.
Yeah.
How's that go?
Terrible. Don't do it.
Oh, you train her?
Yeah, I train her. So I trained her for her first powerlifting meet back in, I think it was November.
Big dramas.
No, we get on incredibly well. We've
You'd hope so.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
You hope so, bro.
You have to.
Yeah.
But also at the same time, you need to have your own thing. So we both have different, you know, when we're at home, we don't talk about work as much as possible. And,
nice.
You know, that's the important thing. And also...
You guys live close to where you work?
Yeah, like 20 minutes away.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, training her was awesome. And then to know that, you know, your partner has that sort of trust in you for, you know, essentially like a local meet. So it doesn't really fucking matter. But, you know, she ended up coming second and we're close to national records. So if we...
That's hectic.
That's so cool, man.
Hectic.
Like if we push, you know, she can, you know, be right at the top of the game, which for me, I used to be very humble. And I think there's a point where humble's important, but there's also a point where you're like, no, I'm fucking going.
Yeah.
I'm getting this athlete.
I'm fucking
getting
good. Yeah.
my business or I'm the best coach. I think that shit speaks a lot of, you know, I think height and look at, you know, that's what I learned off Bass is, you know, he preaches what he does.
Yeah, he's always like, oh, like this technique is the one I used on Havthor Bjornsson, who's the strongest man in the world. Like,
brother, if I train the strongest man in the world,
you'd have a fucking tattoo on your head about it.
Did you train the strongest man in the world?
Yeah.
I was like,
there's merit to what they do.
Oh, if I fucking train someone like that, 100%, this is what I did, do it.
It's funny because I noticed that about you as well because, like, you know, the way when we were in the car talking compared to, you know, obviously I didn't get to talk to you much last time in terms of at the mentorship, but it's just like the way you speak then versus now is really interesting because you're like, oh yeah, like we're going to push, we're going to do this and I'm going to get him. Oh, I think it was your mate that you trained for a comp as well.
Yeah,
Xavier, yeah. And you're like, oh yeah, we'll get him there. Like, I'm like, oh shit, he's confident in.
Not we'll try and get him there.
Yeah, no, you're like,
Yeah.
no,
Like-
it's happening.
Yeah, like I say to him, like to Xavier, I'm like, we're going to go on for the top. Like, there's just that's it. Because I know he wants it. Like, but that's a different. That's this comes with skill of talking to people. Like, if you say that to someone else, they're like, oh no way.
Yeah,
But if you know how they respond, like I know how Liana responds, I know how Xavier responds, so I can push them in a way to overextend almost.
Yeah, you know the limit. You know how far to turn the dial and when to pull back.
Yep.
I mean, on that as well, how have you found your relationship change with your fiance in terms of like, obviously there's another level of trust. Do you feel like that's benefited the relationship or?
Yeah, and getting a dog. I miss my dog.
Ruffles?
Yeah, Ruffles.
Sick.
But I think, some sort of shared thing is very important. I think, I look up to a lot of like Hormozy and his wife, like the relationship that they have is very, look, I'm going to be full clarity. I think love comes and goes. It goes in waves and, you fall in and out and that's just how it is. That's how relationships
It's like
go.
anything, right?
Yeah, but if you have some sort of shared thing that you're both like, fuck yeah, I want to see this grow. I mean, AKA it can be kids as well, I guess. But I think it's made us so much closer and
Cool.
and we trust each other, we push each other. Of course, there's fucking arguments and whatever else about nothing, but ultimately, I think it's benefited the whole growth of Grounded because the thing that I lack, she covers it for.
Yeah.
So similar to how you guys will eventually find, you guys have been friends forever, so you know how each other work. So that's what I was saying to Jackson on Monday night is that you're both now here and you're just going to expand out because you can just bounce everything off each other. It's not just yourself. It's not just, waking up and thinking, fuck, what am I doing? And so I don't know, what are we doing?
It also makes you a better coach as well because you're like, okay, this is what I need to work on.
Yep.
And it's like, this is areas that I need to improve on. So it's like when you're with your clients or when you're, coaching someone, you're like, oh, I'm not doing this well. I need to take a piece of your Liana's like personality and make that part of my own. And it's like almost like you make each other's weaknesses strengths as a coach and as a business and as a relationship itself.
Yeah, very well put. Very well put.
Sick. Let's have a look.
Where did you come up with the name for Odyssey Strength?
Well, had to be some sort of ethnic behind it, have a little bit. There was other names.
You should have
bro.
ask us what our original idea was.
Was this the one? No, you didn't even spit anything.
No,
out
I
for me on
didn't.
Monday.
No.
What's the original?
Askisi.
Could you imagine walking around? What's your business name? Askisis.
You want to train with Askisi, brother? And we just said, bro, that's too much.
Yeah,
We were throwing names out, bro. Everything was taken. And then I said Odyssey. I said, I like Odyssey. It's a journey. There's ups and downs, but at the end point, like it's about the journey itself, but also the end destination. And I went, I like it. We got to have it.
Yeah. We just needed to find a way that it would gel with like
what we do and what we
do.
stand for and
Yeah,
stuff.
yeah.
And I guess strength was good because it's not just about, picking heavy things up. It's about having mental fortitude and having the strength to do certain things you don't want to do. And
for a long time.
And in and out of the gym as well. And we've both experienced that, I don't know about you, but my time overseas for football was a little bit less than pleasant.
Us, bro. My time in
trip to
Thailand
Thailand
was not pleasant in the slightest.
And, and this is off the back of trying to make something of ourselves. I wanted to be a professional footballer. Didn't work out for me very quickly, and I knew that. And I tried to do it and keep at it and whatever. And I was like, nah, it's not for me.
You know what I wanted to be professionally?
Wrestler?
Professional gamer.
Really?
Bad.
Why'd you stop?
Liana.
What happened?
No comment.
You just met her and you.
Because I go all in. You would have seen it obviously with my business. Like when I love something, everything. So I would be playing non-stop. Like I used to play competitive Halo. I used to fly around Australia, Call of Duty, Gears of War, a whole lot.
You play COD?
Yeah, I play COD. The highest level in Australia as well.
Yeah, we need to get on a game with you.
You play FIFA?
I don't play FIFA.
Ah.
That shit's crap.
Yeah, gamers don't consider FIFA a real game.
Hey, esports FIFA, bro.
actually
Do you know how
pays.
much money is in that?
Yeah, I
Actually
know.
pays.
I said to my mate Chris when we're playing, bro, I'll get rid of PT right now if we do esports FIFA. I don't care, bro. I don't care.
We're sitting here talking about we're so passionate about what we do. Nah,
Yeah.
FIFA. I'll get rid of
FIFA,
it.
listen, FIFA is just that thing that is my secret thing. You can't contact me if I'm playing FIFA.
Yeah.
Don't ring me. Don't ring my line, brother. I'm not answering.
See, I watch games because I know I watch gamers because I know I'll never be that good. It's like watching NRL. It's like, I'm going to watch them because I know I can't do this.
100%.
So, so this is the thing. Like this is a big tangent, but I always look at that because I'm like subscribed to one of the gamer guys, Nick Merckx.
Yeah, I'll watch him. Yeah,
Best, right?
He's the
Fucking
best, man.
best. I'm like, I'll happily pay fucking $6 a month or whatever the fuck it is for Twitch to be subbed to him because I feel like I'm part of the team.
Yeah,
and this is something that you always play in with yourself with coaching. You're like, oh, no one's going to fucking buy it, but it's bizarre what people find value in.
Crazy.
Like, I would seriously just invest in watching this guy play fucking video games because I don't play them anymore.
and
But
he
he's
makes jokes about it. and it's
hilarious.
funny. Yeah,
And he does, like, I got a lot of fucking business ideas off him because he's so community orientated as well.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
he'll do late night Q&As where he's drinking wine and talking to random people on the line. He'll do community games with all these people. This guy's making
millions,
Bang.
fucking millions of dollars.
That's crazy.
Yeah,
And, he still has the time to put it out with the people that got him there. Like, that is fucking insane.
Whatever happened to PewDiePie? That's the only gamer I really know.
he's still big.
He's still massive, but he's like lives in Japan now.
Sick.
Yeah, he was from Sweden, wasn't he?
Yeah.
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 He's still
He's from Sweden.
he's still the number one YouTuber in the world. I'm pretty sure. Isn't he? Or like Mr. Beast, I think is a close.
Yeah. But when you get to that sort of higher levels, like because you get so much exposure, it's so exponential, right?
Yeah.
So I guess like whenever we get it to, just say for instance, how many you got over 1,000 on Instagram? Is that like exponentially fine? Once you crack that, does it go up faster? Do you find?
Oh, look, man, Instagram's a funny one. Like,
maybe previously.
I found from 1,200 to 1,700 was quite seamless, and then now I'm like trying to crack that 2,000 mark, and it's a bit hard. So I'm doing a lot of the outreach myself and getting the followers. I mean, it's working, and I think it can definitely pay off. But yeah, I feel like once you sort of reach above that 2,000 mark, I'm not hoping, but I just have a feeling that it kind of becomes a bit easier because people look at you and it's like, oh, they see the 1 and they're like, oh, there's not like, and then they see the 2 and they're like, oh, he might know what he's talking
It's
about.
funny the way people think.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, that's just how I think when I see someone. I'm like, oh,
But I do it myself, man. If I don't want to say I'm judgmental, but if I open up someone's Instagram and I'll go through like maybe 1-2 scrolls, look at how many followers they got, and then I'm like, am I going to base my decision of whether they know what they're talking about or not based upon my own knowledge? Obviously, they're in the same field or whatever, and I'm like, okay, yeah,
Dude, we're already in that fucking Black Mirror episode where people are like, got those ratings. Have you seen that episode?
Yeah,
it's
yeah.
fucked up. We're already there.
Yeah.
Already there.
We just can't say it.
Yeah.
Or-
I think they have it in China.
really?
Yeah. Like they have the social, whatever it's called.
Oh,
And
social
they'll
credit
have a
score.
rating.
Yeah. I think, shout out Joe Rogan podcast. Hope you see this.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
he was talking about that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
But again,
Wow.
like that's funny. Like even like in our industry of fitness, you're like, oh well,
He's got followers. She's got followers.
Yeah.
Like you rate them based on
It's
that.
fucking nuts.
Yeah.
it's really crazy.
What a tangent.
Well, sorry. Yeah.
Where was I?
Odyssey part.
Yes.
It was, yeah. So we just said, okay, Odyssey strength. It's about the journey. It's about the destination, but just enjoying the whole process and learning to cope with some struggles and embracing them, because at the end of the day, regardless if you just want to get healthy, you want to get really strong, you want to look really good, feel better, like they're all going to take some sort of sacrifice. There's going to be problems along the way, but you have to be willing to accept them and just learn to enjoy them.
I said that to a client that I signed up this morning. I'm like, I don't train you for 12 weeks. I train you for a long term. And
Yep.
I hope you understand that, yes, there's a 12-week minimum term, but I'm thinking beyond that, because this is going to be a journey and we're going to build you up into a point where you are going to be unstoppable towards your goal, of course.
Yeah, I think giving someone that sort of one client of mine, he was like so excited. He went home and told his partner. He's like, he told me I was an athlete.
I love it.
Like, I just said to him, like, you being an athlete and you're going to join the team of grounded strength athletes. We all push forward. Like similar teams to you. 12-week minimum, blah blah blah. But my goal is to keep coaching you. And he lost it. Like he keeps telling me about it. He goes like, no one's ever said that. I'm like, it's crazy.
Feels included, feels part of a community.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's just, and it's a bit like being called an athlete. It's like, well, that's
what we're doing here.
Yeah, exactly. Like
Yeah.
that's essentially what you are.
Yeah.
It's like I don't fucking beat around the bush and say, oh, you're my client.
Your Gen Pop.
Yeah. But again, I think those sort of things go a really long way, which is great with Odyssey, because I mean, you're going to be able to say like, oh, you're joining this team and you have all that. I mean, you've got multiple avenues of where you're going to be sort of taking people?
Yeah. We're in the process of building that.
Discord's
now.
very good. I must.
Yeah, we're starting
Yeah,
that.
we just
set one up, so we're going to start pushing that.
Yeah, it will be exciting. And I think the big plan, obviously, is to have, obviously, the community that we're going to build together with just Odyssey Strength. But also, I want to be able to say to a client or a person or have some influence. If someone says to me, what's a good gym to train at in Melbourne? I'll say, if STC open a gym, go there. Which part of Melbourne are you in? Go see Ground of Strength. Go Ground Zero. Like having more connections with the industry and with like-minded people, not just, here's a mad influencer gym that you're probably going to like, but it's going to be too busy for you to do your workout anyway. It's like, go see Adrian, tell him you're a client of ours, he'll look after you. And vice versa, like if there was someone, like you coming up to Sydney, it's sick. Like, we met today, but I've already known you for how long?
Yeah.
And having that bigger community is something that I'm quite excited
Even just doing
for.
this, man, like having podcasts, like we're getting to know you so much better just by doing this.
I didn't know you fucking played competitive Halo. That's mad.
Yeah, like we
Never
would
would have known that.
Yeah, we would never have known that.
See my thumb? That's from too much Halo.
Oh,
Wow.
It's fucked.
Yeah.
Never do that again. It's going to fly across
Just
the room.
started sweating.
And I think as well, just like, as you said, being able to like, tell clients that you can go here or there. Just not only that, bringing people in who aren't just in the gym.
Yeah.
Like people not just applying for a PT in the gym and they just happen, you just happen to get the lead or you happen to watch this guy squat and be like, hey, let me help you. It's like, no, people are rocking up to the gym because they want me and
They
me
wanna
only.
train with you,
They
yeah.
want to train with you. And I think that's also part of the thing that we're trying to do. It's like, obviously being a Globo Gym PT, people think it's like, you're not a brand. You're just tied to the gym.
You work for the gym, bro.
You work for the gym, but it's like, no, we're our own coaches, we're our own people, we have our own philosophies and we have our own systems and it's going to make you better an athlete per se.
Yeah, well, I think it's awesome because they almost get such an advantage as soon as they join the gym as well because, you sign up to a Globo Gym, right? Maybe they'll get an induction with either of us, but that's it.
Yeah,
there's no like community hub. There's not like they're giving out free programs. So it's like you're in a position to give someone such a like head start in, their first thing. But it's obviously there's always that barrier of like, fuck, PT is expensive, blah, blah, blah. But, the more that you can offer with Odyssey, and that's what I'm trying to do with Grounded. And, it's like impossible to say no. It's like, I've got a Discord of when, you ask all these questions. I've got the app now and blah, blah, blah,
It's
blah,
too
blah.
good to be true.
So I was like, fucking hell, this guy's like, really serious. He cares, which is everything, really. Because it's like.
Yeah, and I think as well, it's something to be said. There is a lot of fitness information out there.
So
a lot.
much.
There's so much.
So
And it's conflicting, it's confirmation bias, whatever you want to call it. Like you pick and choose what you want to read, you follow the people you want to follow. If you're in a community, you and I have different views. All three of us probably have some different views. But if you're in the same community and everyone's able to discuss it on an open table, you can see all the facts. You can see everything.
And happy to disagree on things.
well-
Like, there's probably certain things that you believe, I believe, he believes, or Giannis. And it's just like, cool, we just think differently.
Yeah, but I think it's a testament to be able to see and know that, we're all on the same page and bringing everyone in to talk about and just hang out, really. I think that's the biggest
literally
thing.
what it is.
Yeah. And as long as, Bass says it a lot as well, there's more than one way to skin a cat.
Yep.
And it's like, if we all get results and we're all care and we're all good at our job,
And no one gets hurt.
yeah, like who cares? Like, and this is the thing, like if you're listening to this podcast, you're like, oh, these guys sound good, like we want to get coached by one of them.
Yeah, fucking good, that's why.
DM me. But it's like you can literally go to any of us and you're going to get the same outcome. It just might look differently.
Completely different.
Yeah. And it'll depend on the person as well. Like if you're direct, come coach with me. I'll tell you straight up.
Yeah, but I mean, the easiest thing that you can, I think a lot of people, they get confused when they walk into the gym. They think they have to say some sort of
They have a
convoluted
facade
thing.
yeah.
And I just say to them, like, you want to look good and you want to be strong as fuck.
They go, oh,
Oh, yeah, that's exactly right.
that's so simple.
Or like if you're even more direct, you want to look good naked or whatever you've got
Yeah,
your little handles.
yeah.
Like I said that literally to a client that signed up. I go, he was like bumbling around of like what he wants to do. I'm like, you just want to look fucking hot. And he's like, yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. And
Is that too simple? Can we do that?
'Cause I
Or
was
do I
like,
have to have
fuck
some
yeah,
other?
same with me. Like
Yeah.
I'm as vain as they come.
I mean,
Oh,
look at the
man.
way we all train. We all have the same coach, and it's like we all send each other photos of each other posing because we like the way that I look.
I fucking love it.
Yeah.
Like no shit, I fucking love it. And it's just like you just get hyped up every
Yeah.
time. Every time. What's that? It's 9 p.m.
But it's the
Here's a
dirt-
flex
it's-
photo.
It's
Here's my front lats. Quarter turn to the right.
Yeah. It's a competition as well, you know.
Yeah.
I think
And it's healthy. Let's
it's
put that
super.
healthy.
Yeah,
Healthy
yeah.
competition.
It's supportive.
Sometimes.
It's supportive.
Yeah.
Sometimes. Because we're going to go in the gym after this and I'm going to fucking be strong.
Bullshit. But yeah, like as I was saying, today I wanted to deadlift more than my mate at the gym. And unfortunately I didn't get there because I was trying sumo for the first time. But,
Disgusting.
I said to Bass, like, I fucking hate him. And he's like, I fucking love that.
What do you mean? When the last time we were there, I was with Harry. And I was like, how do you feel that I'm deadlifting the same as you?
That's good.
Just gotta get that burn inside you. You're like, motherfucker.
Yeah. But it's I think that aspect of it's really, really fun. It's
It's so much like we were having a laugh over it. It's so good. It's like healthy competition, like, and this is the part where it goes beyond just like working towards some sort of goal. It's like, yeah, of course, we all want to look good naked and be really strong and be really good at what we do. But it's like, have fun with it. Just have fun with it. It's so much easier when you have fun with it. Like,
that's my number one question I ask after like a week of coaching someone. Is this fun? And they go, yeah. Great. Regardless of what their progress is, like I just ask, is it fun? Like, are you having fun? Like, do you feel like you enjoy coming to the gym? Yep. Great.
It's working.
Yeah.
Tick. Move on. And then from there, if they're having fun, they've got so much more, I think, acceptance of your coaching onto them.
Yeah, there's a massive buy-in.
And that's the thing that you guys are going to have with Odyssey, right?
So much more trust.
Yeah, because if they see you in this loose, podcast environment just talking shit, they're like, oh, these guys aren't these, super fucking fitness people that, eat broccoli every day. And
I say all the time, like my partner, Georgina, food page, like any and all food. This guy, where can I go for sushi on Saturday? I was like, let me ask the chief and I'll get back to you. But it's like, I say to people, when you're here, I want to know where you went to eat. Like, so I can go there. I don't really, and this is going to make me sound like I'm a shit coach, but I don't really care about how your sessions went. Like, I can do that in a formal environment, but I want to know, like, where'd you go? What'd you do? Did you have a good time? Yeah, sweet. I'm going to go there.
It depends on the person and the outcome, right? And this is where the context really needs to be applied. It's like, I'm sure the conversation we're having with our athletes who are competing in APLs are very different. To the conversation I'm having with Joe, who wants to lose 10 kilos or 5 kilos and just feel a little bit better going to the beach on the weekend or whatever. It's like, if I'm having that conversation with that person, I'm gonna be like, I talk about the footy with a lot of my clients, and it's like, oh, I'll see you at the game. Like, how's your weekend? You have a big one, and it's a laugh, and it's like, oh, looking a bit rough today, like the weights are feeling heavy, and they're like, yeah, had a big weekend. It's like, yeah, that's fine. We'll pull the weight back a little bit. Still, just give me 100% effort. But the context needs to be applied. It's like, again, depending on the context, the goal, and the person and what they're doing. It's like, but yeah, of course, I think you're right. It's like, yeah, we care, but it's like we want to have fun.
I'm so laid back.
I mean, the gym is for performance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like at the end, so is nutrition.
Yeah.
I really just struggle with nutrition because it's like, for me, it's just moderation of everything,
Yeah.
really. I think, but
Says the person doing a bodybuilding show.
yes, that's right. But I think it's important. Like this is another topic as well. But I think it's important for a coach to have gone through almost the hardest possible thing that you can hold against her as far as training. I think bodybuilding is really, really tough because of like the dieting aspect.
Mentally,
correct. So you're going to have a huge amount of ammo to talk to these people about losing 5 kilos.
Yeah.
Because that's what they see, right? Like when they lose 5 kilos, they think they're going to be like, C-bum. And they think they see all the people from dieting, because this is the unfortunate thing of like filtered information. It's like, really you just don't have to drink a bottle of Coke a day and then you'll lose weight.
Well, I had this conversation with a lot of my clients.
So true.
And, I mean, you would have seen me last year and I lost a lot of weight, but I wasn't what I am now in terms of physique and where I'm at. But you saw me when I was 100 kilos and like powerlifting to the tits.
Boy.
I was a thick boy.
Keg on legs, man.
Yeah. I was a Heineken keg, that's for sure.
Yeah. Be cuddled by that.
And people like, I tell them, I'm like, this took me, like I spent 8 months out of the year last year dieting. And that was not all of that was fun. Like, let me get that clear. Like, not all of that was easy. Not all of it was fun.
I vividly remember massive parts where you hated it.
But
I was
but nothing that you really, really want is going to be fun all the time.
Of course.
No.
Yeah. And this is obviously where that context comes back into it. It's like how far we pushing. It's like, what's the goal? Like I was doing a photo shoot. That's why I was doing it. Like I could have done the first cut. Yeah, it would have been hard towards the end and be like, oh, I'm in a pretty good position. Like, you know, I'm healthy now, you know, but I've wanted to take that further. And it's like, that took me a whole year and a bit to do. And it's like, some of it was being on 1,700 cows, half an hour of cardio a day, and 12,000 or 15,000 steps a day. Like that's hard for me.
And working.
And working 30-hour weeks. Like it's just so draining. I was napping twice a day. Like, so anything that is worth doing and that you want to do, if you really want it, is going to take a long time. We said this last time on the podcast. Consistency is the biggest thing.
Yep.
Yeah, and I actually said it to someone today. I said, pick your hard.
Yeah.
I was like, if you're going to do a diet or whatever and you're going to bitch about it, don't do it.
Yeah.
Or don't bitch.
I say flat out to people, they go, oh, I want to do this, I want to do that and do that. I go, pick one.
Yeah.
What are we doing? Oh, I don't know how to use anything in the gym. Cool, we're going to do that.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about nutrition. And you know what? The best results that I've had with clients is that I get them to fucking move better in the gym and they go, wow, my body's actually capable of a lot more things than I thought. Maybe I'll just eat better. Maybe I'll sleep better.
Do one thing and they'll all kind of
whatever's in
domino
motion
effect.
Stays in motion.
Yeah.
Like my best, athlete that's lost a lot of weight, I haven't done anything with her, like food.
Yeah.
You know, she'll tell me what her calories are and I go, yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Thanks. Next set.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And she's just constantly performing. Like she's doing the lift off with me and STC in June. And, it's just awesome. She's become just such a self-sufficient, beast. And I'm able to just go, yep, we'll just do this next block. She's like, yep, cool. Like
unfazed.
Yeah, because now she's got she can fucking, she's moving so well.
Don't break the stuff, not else.
Yeah, that's right. She knows how capable that she is, and she's like, oh, well, this is all just fucking easy now.
Yeah, there's a profound sense of confidence in the process, in herself, in you as a coach.
Yep.
And then that just means 100% go.
I think that's why I have a bias in strength.
Yeah.
Because it's just like you show someone how strong they are, they're like, whoa, this
it's
is
addictive.
fucking cool.
Yeah.
Whereas if you show someone to lose 5 kilos, like, yeah, maybe they'll be like a little bit, maybe they'll be happier, but ultimately it's like,
you won't know unless you're
It's not really that fucking cool.
Yeah. Yeah, and even then, getting as lean as everyone thinks that they want to.
Yeah.
Lose 5, another 10 to go.
Yeah, I've done my fucking bodybuilding show of like 1,200 calories and it's just this skinny, tan piece of shit. And I was like, cool, I'm fucking desperately unhappy.
Yeah.
Like I'm never
I did all this, thank you very much.
Yeah, great.
Yeah, it's like people come to you and they're like, I want to train 4 days a week, 5 days a week. And I'm like, when was the last time you did that? They're like 3 years ago. I'm like, we're not doing that. And they're like, what do you mean? And I'm like, they're like, I want to lose weight. And I'm like, yeah, cool. So how many days of training are you doing now? They're like, 0. And I'm like, how easily do you think it's going to get to 5? They're like, oh. And I'm like, what if I told you 2 or 3? They're like, oh, that's so easy. And I'm like, well, then let's do that.
Or it's not enough.
Yeah.
It's not enough.
But they say that, and I'm like, well, you're doing nothing now, so it's better than what you're doing now. And they're like, oh, yeah. It's like, don't overcomplicate it. Just like start small and build from there. It's going to make it so much easier to, because as I said before, once you've got that momentum, it's a snowball effect. You're just going to get there quicker and quicker and quicker.
Where do you think that overcomplication comes from?
Too much information.
Yeah, information overload, or like people get this idea that there needs to be a certain amount of work that needs to be done.
Do you think everything everything has to be hard?
Yes.
Like losing weight has to be really fucking hard. I have to be punishing myself.
100%. It's almost like it's too good to be true. Like, what do you mean I can walk? Now, this is a very big generalization. What do you mean I can walk 10 to 12,000 steps a day and improve my body composition? That's too fucking easy.
Lowest hanging branch.
Someone said to me, I have to fucking eat nothing and walk 6,000 kilometers a day and then I'll change. It's like, no. Just give it a go. Like, what do you have to lose?
Yeah.
They go, no, it's too. That's too simple. It's fake. It's not right.
Yeah, but also I think people fear the time that they're going to lose. They think, oh, I've got to lose weight.
I want to speed it up.
So now I'm going to miss out on X, Y, Z.
But what's the point of speeding it up? Because like I had a client today as well. He's like, I've had a massive shift in nutrition. I'm like, cool. Like, what are you eating now? Like, give me what your day of food was like from Saturday to today. So it's like Wednesday. He goes, oh, I ate the same thing every day. I'm like, cool. What was it? He's like, fruit, protein shake, and then I had like some steak and potatoes at dinner. And I'm like, bro, eat. Like, he goes, I lost 1 kilo. I was like, yeah, of course you did. Like,
My girlfriend eats more.
I was like, you're not eating enough, man. Like, like eat some food. Enjoy yourself. It doesn't need to be hard. Like, it doesn't need to be that difficult. Just like choose foods that are going to benefit your performance, and then you'll see a difference.
Big rocks. Choose the big rocks.
Yeah.
What can you take out? That's kind of junk. Or like what takeaway meal can you take out? Start there.
Yeah, I had a client of mine who were probably approaching about a year, will be in June, 17 kilos down.
Wow.
In a year.
Wow.
Right?
Huge.
We haven't walked. Well, like he for a long time couldn't walk. Back hurt, knees hurt, so on and so forth. He's a bit of a bigger guy. Was sitting at like 127. And I just said to him, like, what do you eat? And he goes, oh, I eat junk, like maybe I eat takeout like 5 times a week. I said, okay, do 4. Did 4, so do 3. 3, did 2. He went, I can't do 2. I said, there we go. There's our limit. Let's just stick with 3 at the moment. Right, 17 kilos down, trains 3 times a week, sometimes 2 if I'm not there, which I know is something that probably we need to work on for the next step. But I say, go and do a session that you enjoy. Loves fucking chest and tries. Froths it. I go, bro, go and train chest and tries. Just go to the fucking gym and just do that. Fuck my program. I don't give a shit. Just go and train.
Yeah.
Goes and does it. I'm like, that's sick. And now he goes, bro, I feel better. I sleep better. I walk better. I look at foods now and I'm like, well, not that makes me feel gross. It's like maybe I don't have to eat the whole thing. I don't have to eat a whole pizza myself. I can have half, or I can have 2 or 3 or 4 sides, whatever it is. Like I don't have to eat the whole pizza and the cake and the ice cream and go, fuck, I wish I didn't do that. It's like just do a little bit.
That's where I think it's circling back to you guys and creating the community and stuff. That is almost everything for a weight loss client, in my opinion.
Yeah,
the community aspect.
Yeah, because then they've joined a community of people who are potentially all going through it together, and then there's some sort of trust forming there. I think that's one of the biggest, and that's why I'm doing it with the lift off and stuff as well. Is because I'm trying to build and show people that I've got a few complete beginners in there,
and it's possible. Things are possible.
If you want to do powerlifting, it's not. Look, it's not that hard. It's hard at the highest fucking level, but if you're just wanting to go in there and double body weight deadlift and start there. So easy to approach.
I think it's crazy when you see someone, they go, "Oh, how heavy is this?" They don't think about the weights. You're the PT walking. You walk and put the weights on, and they're like, "Oh, hang on, 60. I only weigh 55," and you're like, "Yes, we did it." And then they go, "Oh fuck, let's go 1.5." You're like, "Okay, now we've got something to work towards." But that first initial I'm lifting more than my body weight is unreal.
Not only that, even with body composition as well. It's like. It's actually not that hard either. Like, don't get me wrong, I'm not trying to oversimplify things, but it's like, just train, eat, do it for a long time.
Yeah.
You'll be surprised, what can happen. It's just over time, you'll just see all these changes. And it's like, I have clients long term and, some of them, I'm like, have you taken photos recently? They're like, no. I'm like, just take some. Like, don't even show me. Just take some. And send me a photo. And I'm like, wait, what the fuck? And I'm like, we haven't even done anything that drastically different. We've just trained and you've probably eaten a little bit more protein and maybe ate less shit. And that's it. And I look at one of my clients now and I'm like, you look so fucking different. And you move way better as well. And they're like, oh yeah.
They just don't see it.
Yeah.
The best thing I think that I really, put up very high with all the people that come and see me is that, my highest amount of praise that you can give me is seeing you train in the gym by yourself.
Yeah.
That's big.
It's actually can be a tough one sometimes too.
Always. Yeah. I mean, you take someone, like you said, the example of someone hasn't trained at all for the last 3 years and you go, one session with me, if that's what they can afford or whatever, and then you go one by yourself and they're like, I don't know if I can do that. But then once it clicks over that they're actually possible to do it, they're comfortable with the environment, which is probably the main thing for most people is the environment. It's sometimes, I know our gyms, I'm not so sure about Melbourne, but our gyms, they can be quite intimidating.
Yeah,
I think any gym is.
Yeah, if you haven't been there.
But I mean, any foreign place is, right? Even me who goes to the gym all the time, I'll go to a new gym, I'm like, what the fuck?
When we were in Melbourne, I was like, what the fuck?
You step into Doherty's and you're like, fuck, this shit's raw.
Yeah. That place is sick.
Yeah. Oh, so good.
It's mad.
But
I just need to look after the machines. That's the biggest complaint I have with that thing. Is that you don't get me wrong, I'm sure that they've got enough money to do it. But Liana's on this fucking hack squat and the shit's stuck.
Yeah.
I'm like, you're meant to be the best bodybuilding / gym in Melbourne and you've got equipment that's fucked. Like, I get the hardcore thing. I fucking get it. But also at the same time, I want to be like machines to fucking work so I can get big and be hardcore.
I asked for WD-40 at one of my local Anytimes the other day. She was like, you know what to do with it? I was like,
yeah,
please.
I lube up the leg press all the time.
I was like, 1, I'm ethnic. 2, I'm PT. Give me the fucking WD-40. Hurry up. And then all of a sudden it's like,
yeah, because I'm
like,
close
oh,
to
yes.
because I'm close to bringing my own barbells and stuff for my guys.
I do.
Yeah,
Like we've got a deadlift bar that I use
man.
for my clients. It's
did you get a Rogue one? Which one did you get?
I don't know. It was I think it's Texas.
Oh,
Texas
wow.
bar.
Yeah.
Nice.
Big spender.
Yeah.
Did you get that in COVID?
Yeah.
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 There's no way you would have bought it otherwise.
No. Oh, COVID, man, I went crazy.
Yeah, it's a
Yeah.
worthwhile investment because I think it's the Rogue Power Bar, which is pretty.
I used it for myself
Yeah,
because it was like so much fun.
dude, I was fucking benching off a chair
Oh, really?
like with a Kmart bar. You know the ones that you screw in. It's got the little center thing.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Nostalgia.
Yeah.
Bro, I was like PBing lifts in COVID. It was so much fun.
Fuck yeah.
I was like,
you had
what
no
a-
stress. That's why. Just
yeah, bro.
Just eat.
Stress
sleep,
management
and
was to
train.
the lowest. And I had all this time to cook. It was great. But on topic of our own training, like, what about yourself? Like, what's your goals? Like, I know we threw it out there that bodybuilding comp next year that we're probably all going to be doing. But yeah, where are you at with your training? What's the goal?
It's funny. I mean, I love both aspects of training. I think they're both.
It's hard. It's a fight
It's
constantly.
a constant fight, but I think it's important to do phases of each. Now, obviously, spending the week with Bass, I'm like, fuck.
Got that heavy lifting itch. You want to scratch it.
Yeah,
There's
like
something
me-
about it, man. Like,
Yeah.
it's
Like, put that fucking low bar in, stepping into the mono lift. I'm like, this is it. Let's fucking go pro raw.
what about sumo deadlifting, man? Like that when
That
I
shit
did that
hurts.
at the mentorship we were at, I was like, oh my god, fucking. I was like, I'm gonna sumo deadlift 3 times body weight. I was like looking up, I was like, what's the 250 done?
Yeah.
Go on,
Get me
done.
on that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because Liana's doing sumo now, and she's like,
I can lift the world.
Yeah.
she's gone crazy with it. So it's like, great, let's go.
Yeah.
But training for me, I always lead it back to is what would I want to see if I was coming to see myself.
Yeah, I like that.
Oh.
So it's like, well, I would like a coach who's, experienced in the 2 avenues that I really enjoy, which is powerlifting and hypertrophy. So, when I spend my money on seeing mentors and stuff like that, are they the best at that? I mean, we hold Jason up very high. I think he's I've only had a couple of coaches, but they haven't really been as in-depth as Jason is. And I mean, Bass is the best in the world as far as powerlifting. So that's where I want to be with as far as when I train.
Yeah.
I've gone off a weird fucking tangent on that. I can't remember where we went.
No, it makes total
Anyway,
sense.
so next year, is bodybuilding show because I want to have redemption from my skinny 2014 self.
How old are you now?
I am 33 this year.
How old were you when you did your first comp? I'm not going to do the maths.
24.
Fuck, like us.
Yeah, well,
24. We'll be 24.
we'll be So we'll be competing as your skinny 2014-year-old
Yeah,
self.
Fuck, we're
awesome.
going to have to compare the pair.
But I mean, I'm more excited for the photo shoot afterwards, to be honest. Like, I've got a fucking photographer lined up, full like shooting film, all old school. Like, that's what I'm really pumped for. And I mean,
I'm pretty keen to step on stage. And just
Yeah.
fucking.
But make sure you do one with a posing routine. Don't do fucking pussy ACN.
ICN.
Yeah. Because they don't do a posing routine. What's the fucking point? You want the
What
whole...
do you just stand there?
You just walk out and you do
rotations
mandatories.
and mandatories.
It's
yeah.
fucking boring as fuck.
If
Go
I
ju-
can't hit that,
Like,
was
just
it the
compete in a...
crucifix?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to hit the crucifix.
just compete in a non-natty one just so you get the routine. Because that's the fun... Like, for me, I reckon that's the most fun. Because
Are
you get the
telling him
whole
to
fucking...
become non-natty?
Yeah, well, if you want to. if you're going to do something, you may as well do the whole experience for
I
how
love
it's meant to be.
I fucking love this guy. You got to do it. Fucking do it right.
No, but what about A and B? Isn't that?
No, they still don't do it.
Oh wow. Well, IFBB, here I come.
Yeah, IFBB or WFF, they'll do it.
Yeah.
I'm going to do WFF, WBFF.
I don't have
it's WFF without the B, like NABA.
Oh wait, WFF. What's WFF?
So it's like World Fitness Federation, which is the more, I guess, because you got the big boys in NABA, like that's where Mike Pearson started.
Yeah.
And then you've got WFF, which is where Callum Von Moger came from. He was in the heavies.
Oh. So wait, there's IFBB, WFF.
So you got IFBB, you got NABA and WFF, and WFF is under NABA.
Oh.
No, but natural.
No, it's not
Australian-
natural. No, it's not
natty.
natural.
National Australian.
So they do the
Bodybuilding Association.
they do the Mr. Universe competition now. Back in the day, all the Mr. Universes used to come together
Lee
to be,
Bruce.
to be the Olympians. right? So that used to be a whole thing.
National Amateur Bodybuilders Association.
So my first coach, Jake Nicolopoulos, who's now an IFBB pro, he won the Mr. Universe title a few times.
What's
That's
his
good
name?
to know.
Jake Nicolopoulos.
Is he related to me?
Potentially. Or Jake Alphabet, one of the two. But he was my first coach, and like that's when I was plumbing for 3 months, and we used to go to his factory, and his dad was a sheet metal, had his own sheet metal factory, and he had pictures up of Jake. Next 2 days I quit, and I was like, got a shit kicker job just so I could get trained by Jake.
Sick.
That's hectic. I think we've all done something like that. Like,
well, yeah,
but fuck plumbing. I was never fucking going to do that.
Yeah,
I needed any excuse.
That I get PTSD just talking about it.
Yeah.
I was going to do aircon.
It's pretty decent money.
And then I climbed into a wall,
Yeah,
and I was like,
confined space.
what the fuck?
Yeah, no
I was
way.
like, get me out.
Yeah, I was in trenches and I was like,
Yep.
nah.
I crawled under one house with a fucking oxy welder. I was like, this is how it ends.
Yeah.
The house is coming down. But I want to make a comment on that. So I haven't had a coach before Jace. I've never had it. Jace is my first coach. So I would be interested to see, like, I don't want to talk shit on anyone here, but it's like, you said that Jason is your most in-depth coach?
Well, I think you have to be as a bodybuilding coach.
Yeah.
I think there's a lot more that goes into it than powerlifting, in my opinion, because you've got the diet aspect.
Yeah. Okay.
So, you have to be,
You're turning so many more dials with that.
Yeah, like, powerlifting's complex if you, I'm going to be biased here, but if you want to make it complex. But there's, bodybuilding's a completely different show. If you are running into PEDs, and there's a whole other different avenue for it. You're checking in with people, into peak week, daily.
Yeah, Jason and I had communication daily for our photo shoot. Yeah, I sent him photos every single day.
Yeah, because you go to powerlifting competitions, like fucking chill. You're doing sub-maximal for the week. You come in, you do 100, 60% of your max on something.
You come in, you send it.
I just, like I said to Liana and said to Xavier, just fucking sleep.
Yeah.
Recover.
Mm.
I mean, it's the same goes now with, I guess, the more research and stuff is with bodybuilding. Like, you see the top
stress management.
the top end guys, they're just fucking chilling. They're not even training, or like a week out.
I think they do this is what I
Pump
did at
sessions
least.
and stuff.
It's like just get the blood moving, get the glycogen from all the carbs and the peak of the food. But yeah, like, they're not really doing much. You're just relaxing, and then you're kind of just trying to really get ready to make sure that whether you need to eat more food or eat less, or and then if you've got PEDs, manipulate those things as well.
Because I mean, I think the beauty in this is it's also given me that I don't want to be a bodybuilding coach, like, ever.
Too much to think about?
No, it's just
Kind of like it though. I'm not gonna lie.
it's cool. I'd like to be just at the coach, like, rubbing tan on my athlete, like, that's it.
Yeah.
Like, the whole, like, fucking getting him shredded and, like, dealing with all the emotional shit that I'll probably go through with Jace and stuff. But nah.
It's hard, man. Like, I mean, I don't know how it was for your first show.
Terrible.
But like,
We'll talk about that
I was talking to you that week, and I was like, I'm not lean enough. I need to be leaner.
This guy messages me, but I looked at my phone, and he's like, bro, I look shit. And I looked at it, and I went, are we looking at the same fucking photo? I was like, are you normal? Are you normal? I don't want to talk to you. I'll fucking block his number. Like, bro, I was like, what's up with this guy's ass?
No, but that's actually it. Like, when you are at the high end of some sort of
like
aesthetic vanity goal, it's insane. You were looking at, like,
minute
micro details.
yeah.
Like, because one of my, this is how fucking vain I am. One of my quads is bigger than the other, right?
Me too.
But when I'm lean, it is like, I've got this fucking stick.
Giant leg and one little one. This guy, my lower abs are gone.
Yeah.
Brother, you got fucking 12-pack. Shut up.
No, because this is the thing, right? I was like super depleted the week before. Like, I had veins coming out of my
You had
stomach.
veins on veins.
I had veins everywhere. I was at the beach. I was like, what the fuck? Why are my legs like
Spiders.
like so? And it was mad. Like, I loved it. Like, I'm smiling thinking about
sick.
it. And then
You
like
got the creepers coming up. You're like,
and you carb up, and then you're like,
Gone.
oh, like, what's happening? I'm not lean anymore. I've spilled over. I'm fat. Like, obviously, like, I know I'm not fat, but I'm like, I'm not comparing myself to the average human. I'm comparing myself to what I should look like on stage. Even though I didn't step on stage, that was my mentality. And I'm like, well, no, this needs to be better.
yeah, this is, I think, you can bring it down to powerlifting and bodybuilding as well. Like, every show, every meet you do is going to be better, potentially. I think bodybuilding is probably one of those ones that's very, finicky. It can really change
very-
quite rapidly.
Yeah,
But I
you
mean,
do one thing wrong and
yeah, you know,
could
I
be all over.
like when me and my mates, we sat down and we're like, oh yeah, let's do a bodybuilding show. And I think we were like 30, I think it was like a 35-week prep. I was 100 and
35 weeks.
I was like 100 and something at the start of it
What the
because
fuck?
I was just told like, you know, just eat. You're going to get bigger. Just
Same.
eat. And I got, I don't know, I have a photo in there, but just a giant thick boy as well. And
Life's
you know,
good.
pretty
Eating
much
cereal before bed.
Yeah, and you know, pretty much like coming down like all those weeks, it's just like lost almost everything. Really, I was just like, you know, this skinny dude up on stage, you know, on 1,200 calories, doing like an hour of cardio every day. Like it was
Brutal.
brutal.
Yeah. But don't get me wrong, this is a thing though. It's like, I fucking loved it.
Yeah,
Choose your hard.
Yeah. Like I loved it. Like when I had that first day of carb up and I was training, I had veins in my delts. I was like, what the fuck? This is hectic. Now this is not for everyone. I'll admit that. Like it's not like my clients look at me like I'm crazy and I'm like, I love eating chicken and rice every day. I love training the way I do and I love recovering on weekends and then I love the way that I look. Like I don't actually think I have a bad relationship with myself, my food or anything like that. Like I genuinely think it's a healthy relationship with it and I just really enjoy it.
I think you know, correct me if I'm wrong, you enjoy the discipline of it.
Yeah, 100%. It's not like, oh no, I'm like I look like shit. I need to be better. It's like
I think there's a freedom in that, to be honest.
Yeah,
I think Jocko talks about that. He goes, discipline is the ultimate freedom because you know exactly what you're doing every single day.
yeah,
And that's essentially bodybuilding.
Yeah.
yeah. It's just the same. It's just do the same shit every day, tick the boxes. But it was fun, man. Like I suffered, but it was so much fun.
I think you learn more about yourself in those sort of suffering things than you do anything else. And you know, and the weird thing is, it's like it's self-inflicted with bodybuilding.
Yeah, you're choosing to do it,
Yeah.
and that's what Jay said at the end. He's like, "Bro, you've chosen to do this. Just remember that it's your choice." I'm like, "Yeah, it'll be fun when we're all doing it next year together and we're all crying."
Yeah,
Just letting you guys know I lose weight
just the
really
process.
easily.
Yeah, he's gonna have the easiest prep of his life.
Really?
Oh, bro.
What do you mean?
I'll find. I
Just
like
don't think about it. And
just
Just
like
don't eat.
eat protein and walk, and
Fuck.
it just comes off.
I just hold it. Just
Fuck,
holds
bro.
on for
I'll,
dear life.
I'll find it. I'll.
But again, like Jackson was saying, like, you know, when I stepped on stage, I was like, fuck, I'm not lean enough.
Yeah.
I would fucking eat something and I'd be like looking in the mirror.
See if I can find the photo.
Terrible.
I've shown you the photo, bro.
Yeah, bro. He gets like
When I was playing soccer 6 days a week, and I used to go to the gym and kind of just fuck around, chest and arms, bit of legs, whatever. And I didn't eat enough, obviously, bro. Fucking
But you've made a lot of progress in the
peeled.
past
Yeah.
year.
Put on a lot of weight for what I thought was.
But I mean, that's just a testament. That's just showing your environment, though. You're running around a lot.
Oh, it was
you know,
hard,
so
man. It was
You
hard.
would have been
and-
burning what? How many calories? 6 days a week. That's fucking nuts.
Yeah, no, I used to eat like 3 meals a day.
Yep.
And I'd be like, oh, I'm good. Let's go. Because you don't think about it. You're just training.
Yeah,
and
you're just training.
you don't care. You're like, it's just okay. I'm not going to. Didn't know what fucking macro was. I knew, okay, protein, carbs, fats, whatever.
You just love soccer as well, though. You're like, that
Oh,
was the
man.
only focus. You're just like,
I still do love it. But Jason says no, so we don't do it.
well, no, you got injured and you were like, oh,
The
like,
trade off's not worth it.
Yeah.
Especially with work, it's just not worth it.
Why did you coach?
Hey?
Did you coach it?
I don't. There's something about coaching that you athletes, and like I look at myself as a young athlete. I was a little fucking prick. I thought I knew how to be the best player. I was like, okay, I'm listening to you as a coach, but you're fucking 50. Get on the pitch and let's see how good you are. Like it's always, I know what it's like to be that person. I just get fucking frustrated, bro. I wouldn't be able to do it because I'd be like, you guys aren't listening. What's the point in me doing this?
Do you think it was a problem? Not a problem with your coach, but was your coach, had he played at the highest level? Like was
No.
no? So again,
No,
like
it's an experience thing as
Yeah.
well. But even like I had a coach who played for Australia. He had decided to come on as a coach and test his ability. He didn't last more than 6 weeks because it's just once you are an athlete at a higher level, I don't think that translates to being a good coach.
I think some people have it, but not everyone does.
Okay.
Like,
Or if you're going to work towards it, it'll take some time.
I mean, who's the coach in basketball who coached
Jordan.
Jordan's team?
I forget his name, but I just watched that. Such a good doc.
Yeah, it's like he wasn't a great player. I'm pretty sure.
No, he played at the highest.
He played, but
there's
he
plenty,
wasn't.
there's plenty of athletes
But
who are
again,
great
he's not
coaches.
like an MJ superstar, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
so I agree with Giannis in that respect that you don't see many superstars come out and come coaches.
yeah. I think it's a completely different mindset.
Do you think you have to? I don't know. Yeah, I agree. But also at the same time, I think, leading back to that is like, that's why I was saying it's so important to me to have a look on the outside from where a client sits and go, okay, this guy's fucking done it.
Yeah.
He's done,
Yeah.
whatever it is, powerlifting or bodybuilding and stuff like that. So, he holds it at a high value, his fitness as well.
But how many times do you see average athletes be really good coaches?
No, all the time.
All the time.
Really good. I think they have a great understanding of the game.
Yeah.
Because they have to have worked for it. They didn't have natural ability. They had to really focus on their craft as opposed to...
Yeah, they've had to work harder for it.
Yeah.
Whereas like people who are the highest level probably have some sort of natural talent to it as well. So then they're like, well, yeah, I worked hard, but it's like a lot of it is they're just born that way. They're just better.
Yeah. And I mean, you see that in powerlifting as well. Like you look at Russ Swall.
Oh.
Yeah.
The guy's a fucking monster.
Did you do 795 or 765?
Like, no, it's just like it's nothing. But that guy is just,
Levers built for it.
Yeah.
He's a freak.
It's a genetic pass. And, like you look at his coach and, he powerlifts and whatever else, but it's just nowhere near the difference. And I'll have, same with like my athlete Xavier, like the guy's a fucking beast, man. Like he's if I can stop him from getting fucking injured because he loves to send it.
Yeah.
He's really going to go very far in
me with a shoulder injury
in this, but
I found it.
Damn.
Yeah, he was shredded.
Yeah, and it was just like, bro, I got chest veins. Like, I didn't even know what I was doing. I just go to the gym,
man.
lift a
Like,
couple
with the
weights.
size you have now and like getting down that lean, I'm excited.
Let's hope.
I'm
Chest is
excited.
making me eat a little bit more, so
Good.
It's all part of the journey.
it's all part of the journey. Odyssey, brother.
I think that was fun, boys.
That was good.
Really good.
Where do we find you and plug all your stuff?
So you can find me at coach.adrianbrown, and then I think it's grounded.strength with an underscore underneath. Liana's coach Liana, and we're out of Anytime Fitness Brunswick in Melbourne.
Melbourne. Lovely.
Yeah.
So if you're ever in Melbourne and you want good quality coaching with a fantastic community, we love Adrian, head on over to Anytime Fitness Brunswick.
Thanks, boys.
It's a
I'm
pleasure.
excited for
Thank you for being around for our official launch of Odyssey Strength.
It's huge.
That was fun.
Pleasure.
Thanks,
Friends are
guys.
back.
We'll see you next
We'll
week.
catch you soon.